Today we're going to take a look at two different wireless, telescopic, or retractable controllers by iPega. So if you're like me, I really wanted to try one of these iPega controllers, mainly because I haven't used them before. So today I'm going to do a comparison of the iPega 9023 versus the iPega 9083S. Now the 9023 is currently $31.99 on Amazon, and the 9083S is currently $29.99 on Amazon. But I'll leave a link in the description below with current pricing and more information on both of these controllers. So first let's take a look at the iPega 9023. Here on the back they do mention some features, and this has X gamepad mode, A gamepad mode, A keyboard mode. You can also use this on Android 3.2 and above. And unfortunately, this one does not work with iOS, but apparently it is compatible with games in iCade, so you can search in the App Store for iCade and see which games are available. And this is compatible with Android, P3, Nintendo Switch, Windows 7, 8, and 10. And the size of this one says 125 up to 280 millimeters. Okay, so it does come with a micro USB charging cable, and of course a quick start guide. And it does give you English on one side, Chinese on the other, so that's definitely a plus. Wow, this thing actually feels pretty large. And even though it's pretty large, it feels fairly lightweight. You can see on the left hand side here, you've got select, home, and start, the D-pad, and your left analog stick. And then above that, you've got two indicator lights, one for connecting and the other one for charging. And the joystick actually feels right off of an Xbox controller, so that's definitely a good sign. And then on the top, you've got your L1 shoulder button and your L2 trigger. Then on the right hand side, you've got your right joystick, and you can down press the joysticks to also use as a button. Then you've got your A, B, and X and Y. And then you've got some multimedia player buttons, such as volume down, volume up, previous, play or pause, and next. And then of course on the top, you've got your R1 shoulder button and your R2 trigger. And then you've got the charging port on the bottom. So surprisingly, this actually feels pretty good in the hand. Now you can lock this in place once you get it at whatever size you'd like, so that way it's not going to be moving around. And yeah, you could definitely fit a pretty large tablet in this. Then you've also got a little plastic piece that pops out to help the phone or tablet rest on if needed. Okay, so just for a quick size test. So obviously my OnePlus 7 Pro is gonna fit with no problem. My Galaxy Tab A 8-inch tablet also fits just fine with no problems. Even my 10.1-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab A seems to fit just fine. It even has a little extra space. So yeah, you shouldn't have any problems fitting any phone or tablet in this controller. Well, unless you have like a 12-inch iPad Pro or something similar, then I'm not sure if it's gonna fit. So I think that covers most of the basics for the iPega 9023. So now let's take a look at the iPega 9083S. Now this controller does work with iOS 11.0 or higher. It also works with Android 6.0 or above. This also has Android V3 Direct Play mode, which you just switch to Android mode and then long press the home button for 3 seconds to turn on. This also has iOS V3 Direct Play mode. This one has Bluetooth 4.0. It's got a 380 milliamp hour battery, which says it's good for up to 15 hours of continuous use. And unfortunately, you can't use this one with the Nintendo Switch, where the 9023 controller is compatible. Now it says this does work with Windows 7, 8, and 10, and it also says it's compatible with PUBG. So we're definitely gonna have to test that out. It also is compatible with Mobile Legends, Rules of Survival, and other games. And supposedly you don't need an app for this to work. And the size on this one is 130 up to 280 millimeters. So pretty much the same size as the 9023. Now the 9023 controller supposedly goes for 20 hours of continuous use, but I couldn't find where it says what size of battery it has. So let's go ahead and open it up and see what we've got. Okay, so pretty nice packaging, pretty much the same as the other controller. And it looks like you get the same micro USB charging cable. And of course, user manual. And just like the other one, English on one side, Chinese on the other. So pretty similar layout to the other controller. On the left-hand side, you got the joystick, you've got a home button, D-pad, then you've got two LED indicator lights, and a select button. And you've got your mode switch here on the side, and then you've got your charging port on the bottom. And then on the top, you've got your L button and L2 trigger, and they feel pretty much the same as the 9023. Now this one actually feels a little bit lighter than the 9023, and again the joysticks feel very similar to an Xbox One controller. And then on the right hand side, you've got the joystick, A and B, X and Y buttons, two more LED indicator lights to show you which mode it's in, and a start button. And then on the top, you've got your R1 shoulder button and R2 trigger. And then very similar to the 9023, you've got a lock on the back that you just slide over to lock and slide out to release. And it feels like the same exact retractable mechanism. Instead of the little piece on the bottom, this one just has little ledges on each corner of the controller. And you can see when both controllers are all the way closed, the 9023 is a little bit wider. You're not going to have any problems fitting a OnePlus 7 Pro or similar phone, or really any size phone, an 8-inch tablet, or even a 10-inch tablet, such as my Galaxy Tab A 10.1. The tablet actually feels a little more secure in this one than the 9023. I'm guessing because these little corners down here just help it stay in place a little bit better. Okay, so after testing out these controllers on both Android and iOS, I realized one thing right away. Don't buy either of these for iOS. They both work better on Android regardless of what game you're playing. Even the 9083S, which advertises it works with iOS, barely works with iOS. For example, in Fortnite, you can only use part of the buttons, and the right joystick doesn't do anything. And half the buttons don't do what you would expect. I had the same results when trying PUBG Mobile. Another thing I realized right away was these two controllers definitely feel better in the hand versus other mobile gaming controllers that I've reviewed so far. They're a lot closer to an Xbox One controller or something similar. So I actually like the build quality of both of these iPega controllers. Now, if you're playing mostly racing games, you can't really go wrong with either of these two controllers. But if you're looking for a PUBG Mobile or Rules of Survival type of game controller, there's really only one choice between these two, and that's the 9083S, which works really good except when driving vehicles. Then it's pretty much useless. And it actually feels a little more comfortable in my hands than the 9023. So if I had to choose between these two gaming controllers, it was a pretty easy decision. I would definitely go with the iPega 9083S. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.